80 to 95% of people that are trying to make money online ultimately fail. And it comes down to a few different reasons in terms of why they are never able to see success. Number one, being that they're competing with people who have been in these businesses for years or maybe even decades. And then secondly, all of these online businesses take a lot of skills, a lot of startup capital, and the time horizon that you're going to be seeing success is a bit too long for most people. And then third, these people that are successful with making money online, they weren't hopping from day trading to e-commerce to SMMA. They focused on one thing and had tunnel vision until it worked out. And unfortunately now, most people think making money online is too risky, maybe it's too hard, or maybe they just think it's a complete scam. And I agree, I thought it was too. I came out here to Thailand with $1,500 to my name, no income whatsoever. And the goal was to just make money online. And I seemingly failed when the savings went dry and I had to fast for 110 hours. But luckily I was able to finally break through to the other side of making my first $300 commission sale, then my first 1K commission week, 10K commission month. And I mean, you pretty much get the idea. But the reason I'm telling you this is because if I can go from a flat broke, starving individual out here in Thailand, and I'm pretty retarded myself, and I was able to scale to 20K a month, you can too. Because hitting 10K a month, it does pretty much seem impossible for most people, maybe like a pipe dream. But once you understand and master this one skill, 10K months will just feel like a walk in the park. So without wasting any more time, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and go over exactly how one skill can make you 10K a month anywhere in the world. So now you're a bit curious. You're probably asking, Ryan, what is this skill? Well, this skill is something that you've been using your entire life. Whenever you've made your first few friends or got yourself a girlfriend, you've already sold yourself to these people on liking you and becoming your friends or your girlfriend. And once you unlock this skill, you'll literally be able to never go broke again, because once you learn how to master this skill, you can translate this into any area of life and provide yourself the ability to never go broke again. Plus, if you use a skill in the right vehicle, you'll be able to unlock time freedom, location freedom, and eventually financial freedom, but it really depends on what vehicle that you're in. So if you're not retarded and you have an above average IQ, you can probably already guess what this skill is, and that skill is sales. Once you know and understand the skill, like I told you guys, you literally will never go broke again unless you're in the wrong vehicle or you're just a complete loser and absolutely lazy. Because with this skill, it enables you a variety of different vehicles you can use to make money. It just depends on which vehicle you're in that determines what freedoms you'll be able to unlock. Because as we look at a few different vehicles below, no pun intended, you know, the cars here, we have auto sales, door-to-door sales, jet sales, retail sales. And with each of these, they unlock different freedoms. Because most of them, they'll help you make 10K a month. Like these three right here, you can probably hit 10K a month very easily. But none of these will unlock you consistent time and location freedom, which is very important as a man. So that way you can live completely on your own terms and not have to listen to another man tell you where and when you need to be. So it's just pretty much prolonged childhood. So like for yourself, for auto sales, very good position to start in. Like if you're very new to sales, because and with car sales as well, you can make a lot of money. It just depends what cars you're selling. Like you could be selling Lamborghinis. That's going to be a very hard position to find, but you will be able to make a very big commission off the cars that you sell if it is like a supercar, an exotic car. But if you're just selling Honda Civics to people who can barely afford them, you're not going to be looking to be making any type of very good commission. And then moving on, we have door-to-door sales. You might be able to unlock some type of location freedom, but usually when they do the blitz or whenever they do the raids, whatever they call it for door-to-door sales, where you have to go to a certain state to attack a certain neighborhood, whatever it is, you're not really able to go where you want to go, although you are traveling a little bit. You're not able to live in Thailand, Bali, Dubai. Like you have to be at a certain place at a location, and you're not really having any sort of location freedom. Now with jet sales, pretty much the same as the Lamborghini sales. It's a very hard position to come by. Very tough, very long process in terms of the sales cycle, but still you can get 10K a month very easily if you're able to land that, but still not really any location freedom or time freedom. And then last but not least, we have McDonald's. We all know what type of commission and freedoms that will provide. Absolutely none. But there is a vehicle that you can use to hit 10K a month with full time freedom, location freedom, and eventually financial freedom. And as we move this mystery box over, we will discover that this vehicle is called high ticket sales. You might be wondering, what is high ticket sales? To break it down, you're just the middleman of the gold rush. That's the simplest way I can break it down. And because there's a lot of people out there, they want to learn how to day trade. They want to learn how to start an e-com store, maybe to learn how to start SMMA. And there's a lot of influencers, people on YouTube, Instagram that have these skills already unlocked, already living their dream lives by doing their business, whether it be e-commerce, day trading, SMMA, whatever it may be. And with these people that are posting content on YouTube, they're showing these people how they can help them by giving out a lot of free value on their YouTube videos, their reels, and just giving out a lot of value into the world. And when it goes out into the world, we have these prospects right here on the left. These people are watching them, they're digesting their content and learning if they can trust these people to help them get them to their level. For example, maybe you're watching this right now and you want to learn how to day trade. And I'm a day trader. I've been doing it for years and years and years. I'm a professional day trader. And you're probably going to be watching me for months, maybe even years. You start to trust me, you like me, and then you want to buy from me. But the thing is with these individuals that know these skills and are already living the dream life, they're only one individual. And the thing is, most of the time with these goldmine offers, they have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions of people that want to learn from them one-on-one. So with that, that's where we come into the picture, and we're just right there in the middle. Because when they're one person, they can't handle these thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. So we just come in right into the picture and help these individuals take their calls, message their leads, and just close those deals. So that way we're getting a percentage of every deal that we close. I'll go over a little bit later on what the specifics are for that. But that's just a brief understanding of like what's kind of going on with high ticket sales. You're just a middleman of the gold rush that we're living in 2025. But why I believe high ticket sales to be the easiest and simplest way to make your first $10,000 online is because number one, we already talked about this, but you literally only need one skill, which you already have been using your entire life. You just need to translate that online. And then number two is that you need a laptop, phone, Wi-Fi. If you're watching this right now, you probably already have all the tools that you need. And then number three is that you can scale to 10K a month within the first 45 to 90 days if you know exactly what to do. Luckily enough for you, I'll be going over exactly what to do in this video. And like we already touched on, you are able to unlock time and location freedom. Plus, no boss is going to tell you where or when you need to be somewhere. You have total control of your time and your freedom, which is the most important part, especially as a man. So going over the two main positions in high ticket sales, we have the closer and the appointment setter. Most people start out as a setter just because I believe that's the lowest barrier of entry position you can find online to make your first 5 to 10K a month. And with setters, they're going to be looking at making 5 to 9% of every set deal that gets closed. Like, so as a setter, let's just say you set an appointment and then the closer closes that deal and you get 7%, the average of 5 to 9. That's about $350 right in your pocket. And so like 5K, that's pretty medium range in terms of like the products that you're going to be selling online. The highest deal I ever closed was 30,000. So 7% of that, that's around 2,100 USD straight into your pocket. And with setting, it is a lot more work than closing just because you're doing outbound, but you are calling very warm, hot leads that are already pretty much ready to buy. They just need to be set on the calendar, which then the closer would be closing that deal. So then moving on to closing, it is a lot less work, but it does take a higher level of skill in order to be very successful as a closer, because as a setter, it's only a 10-minute to 15-minute conversation that you're having, and then you're just setting up the deal for the closer. Translating this to basketball terms, it's just like you're alley-ooping it and then the closer is dunking it. So with the closer, they are working a lot less. You just set up the times that you want to work, whether it be from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I used to work a little bit more, but I am training for a boxing fight right now. So I'm scaling down the calendar a little bit so that way I can train a little bit more. But the closer, they're getting 10% of every sale. So that same 30K deal, that's around 3K commissions right in their pocket. Now, of course, every deal isn't going to be a 30K pay in full, but usually like 5 to 10K to 15K, that's like the average ticket price that you're going to be looking at selling. And yeah, closing, that's going to be mainly on Zoom calls, like face-to-face on a call. But then with setting, you can do that through the DMs. You never really have to show your face. That's the only position that Indians can do. And then there's phone setting as well, which is the most common setting I've seen. So now moving down into going over how much you can earn with high ticket sales, the lowest will obviously be $0 a month, but hopefully you're going to be making more than that. And then the higher end of the spectrum will be 20 to 50K a month. I know a few people making 100K a month, but I would not have that type of expectation whatsoever, just because like that's offer stacking, that's getting into better positions, better offers. So I'd say the average is around 8 to 12K a month, just because like 10K a month, I feel like that's the minimum every man should be making to start creating a life you don't need to escape from, a life completely on your own terms. Especially if you're living in the US, 10K a month is like bare minimum in order to live how you want. But then if you're able to move out here to Thailand like me, been living here the last 2 years and you're making 20K a month, that's basically already 60K a month, just because it is 3 times cheaper here than back home in the States, with a lot better women and a lot better weather, and it's super cheap. So you're probably wondering, like, what determines how much you're going to be able to make? Number one is definitely the offer that you're able to land, because you could have the best salesman in the world on the worst offer in the world, and he's going to be scraping by, collecting the bugs in the streets for dinner. But then you can take the worst salesman in the world on the best offer in the world, and he's going to be absolutely printing. So the offer will directly determine on how much you're able to make. And that's why I've helped myself and the other 50 plus people inside of Living Unchained find these goldmine offers, because there are a lot of shit offers out there that will just completely waste your time, ruin your morale, and just think that high ticket sales is a scam. But if you're able to just go through all the shit and find the gold mine offers, you're able to scale to 10K a month within the first 30 to 60 days. It just really does depend on what offer you're on. That determines how much you're able to make. And then another very big factor is how good you are at sales. That's pretty obvious, just because if you're hopping on these calls as a setter or a closer and you have no idea what you're doing, it's just like skateboarding. If you go to a skate park and you're going down the ramps and you have no idea what you're doing, you're going to be falling down, you're going to be getting hurt. And that's the exact same thing with high ticket sales. If you have no idea what to do, if you don't know how to sell, to set, or to close any of these leads, you're not going to have any chance whatsoever. So obviously the offer is number one, the most important, but then secondly, your skills, that's definitely second on the list. And then number three is the time that you're spending either setting or closing, like how much you're going to be working. That does depend on your goals. Like let's just say, for example, your goal is to only hit 5K a month and you're on an offer that the price range of the products is like 5K to 10K. You only really need to sell like 5 to 10 products a month and you already hit your goal. Of course, you don't want to just stop there. You want to be able to scale, but you can hit your goals very quickly, which means that you can just take a little bit more time off. So you can maybe only work 2 to 4 hours a day. I'd say like that's the minimum you would need to at least stay on that offer. And you can just do what you want to do. Train Muay Thai, go ride bikes with your boys, go train at the gym, whatever you want to do. And then last but not least, your race does matter, unfortunately. If you're an Indian watching this, you have no chance whatsoever, just because, as you guys know, the call centers in India, if you're calling someone either as a closer or a setter and they hear an Indian accent, it's already over. You have no chance of closing any deals. But on the other hand, if you go into DM setting, you have a chance, because at least they won't see your face, they won't hear your voice, and at least you have a chance there. So now following that, I'm going to go over exactly why you're lucky here watching this video right now. Because with e-commerce, SMMA, dropshipping, personal branding, they're all very oversaturated. Everyone is trying to do them right now. It's very, very competitive. And then number two, you need a lot of startup capital for most of these businesses in order to even see any chance of success. And the success timeline is very far away because you have to go through so many obstacles, so many failures. You have to learn so many skills to succeed at any one of these businesses. But with high ticket sales, you need no startup capital to get started. And with the competition with high ticket sales, the only competition that is here right now is just completely shit. So there's very low competition. Even with the competition that is here, they're just all garbage. And then number three is that it's very underrated. Like if you go on Google Trends right now, you can do your own research. Just compare high ticket sales to e-commerce, day trading, SMMA. All of these different businesses, they're very searched up. A high ticket sales is all the way at the bottom. So you're very, very early. You're right here, right before it pumps up. And last but not least, if you're very quick and know how to win, you can hit your first 10K in the first 45 to 90 days, just depending on how fast and how skilled you are as a salesman. And then next up, I'm going to go over the quickest way to level up your skills to fast track to at least 10K a month. Number one is by learning from someone who's ahead of you, someone who's already living the dream life, someone who's in the position that you want to be in. Save yourself some time, learn exactly what skills they have, what networks they're in, all these types of different variables that got them to where they are, so that we can fast track through all the failures, the obstacles, and learn the exact tangible steps it takes to get into that position for yourself. And then number two, you can read sales books, you can watch sales YouTube videos. This will help a little bit, but still it's not as good as just doing it yourself and doing sheer volume, which is actually next up on the list. And just being able to land your first gold mine offer. This is actually what I did, just because, you know, the savings was at absolutely zero. I couldn't really invest. And I just had to just use the numbers game to my advantage. So what you can do, especially when you land your first gold mine offer, is to do 2 to 3x what every other setter or closer is doing. So that way, even if you are completely shit, you're able to level up your skills very, very quickly by reviewing your calls, seeing what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. So that way you can correct your mistakes and get better very, very quickly. And then with doing sheer volume as well, you're able to gain the respect of the offer owner, the other setters and closers, that you're a very hardworking lad and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get better. And as long as they see that you have the hunger and the drive, they'll easily help you and get you the help that you need in order to get to the point where your skills are where they need to be in order to succeed long term. Because if they see you're doing 3x what the other setters or closers are doing and you're not as good as them, they'll wonder to themselves, like, if you did have the skills and the confidence and the ability to have the same level of skills as the ones that are already on the offer, and you just get the right skills, that you'll be making 2 to 3 times more money than these other setters or closers. So doing sheer volume, it never hurts. And then last but not least, role playing with your mates, the other setters or closers on the offer. This will help a ton as well. So that way, when you're role playing with these other setters or closers, so that way you can learn exactly how they run their process as a setter or a closer. So that way you can just copy that and use it for yourself. So last but not least, guys, if you do want the full A to Z blueprint and the exact tangible steps to hit your first 10K month with high ticket sales, you need to learn how to outreach properly to stand out from the other 99% of people that are in high ticket sales. You need to learn how to land and solidify your first role for long-term scalability. And you need to understand how to actually set and close deals anywhere in the world. And if you want to learn all of these things and more, the full training will be down in the description below. So go ahead and watch that. But other than that, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully you guys have got some value and enjoyed. And I will see you guys in the next one.